We've got one more round of Premier League games before the next international break, and I've still got my wild card in the back pocket as we look ahead to game week 11. Help me get this one to 1,000 likes and subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it. Starting off with how my team fared in game week 10 then, and a significant green arrow takes me to just outside the top 1 million for the first time this season with 84 points. My transfer in Timber got me a clean sheet to go alongside a 6-pointer from Richards and a 12-pointer from Gabriel. I absolutely started and benched the correct players this week, which feels good. In terms of the midfield, new recruit saw just a 3-pointer from his, but he did outscore Reinders, and it felt like the right decision having that triple up on Crystal Palace for that 2-0 win, just not the right outcome with a Sarr attacking return. Caicedo with a big 10-pointer, another attacking return from Bruno Fernandes as well, and goals in the front line from Mateta and a brace from captain Erling Haaland. I was a little bit worried seeing Salah score his second goal in consecutive games. You know, there's quite a few managers that still own him and are still giving him the armband, but it was okay for this week. 84 points in total. I can't complain with that one. Taking stock then of the latest form versus fixture charts, and starting off with the form charts, Manchester United unbeaten now for 4 consecutive Premier League games. Obviously didn't get that 4th consecutive win against Nottingham Forest away, but a 2-2 draw, still very good. They're by far and away the best team in terms of form. Bournemouth remain high in second place despite that defeat on the road to Manchester City. You'd expect them to get back to winning ways given the fixtures that they've still got to come. And Arsenal make up the top 3. Another win away at Burnley. No huge wins for them in there, but consistency is key. At the other end of the table, we see West Ham move off the bottom with that win at home to Newcastle. Wolves slump right to the bottom of the charts once again. A change of manager could bring an upturn for them. And Nottingham Forest, hopefully things are starting to look up now following that draw at home to Manchester United. Moving on to the fixture charts. These are taken from Fantasy Football Hub, filtered by Attack. You can get the fully customisable ticker as a Fantasy Football Hub member using the link in the description to this one. At the top, it's Crystal Palace with Brighton at home, Wolves away, Manchester United at home and Burnley away up next. Those 2 away games looking very attractive. Bournemouth are in second place. They've got West Ham at home and Everton at home in their next 4 game weeks, and a trip to Sunderland in there as well. We saw Aston Villa making up the top 3, and we see Liverpool in 4th place. Once they've got City out the way in game week 11, their fixtures really turn for the better. At the other end of the table, we see Sunderland down there, Leeds down there, Newcastle down there as well, and Man City. Liverpool at home, the fixture ticker doesn't rate that fixture too badly. You would kind of back them in that game if we look at current form. So that's something to keep an eye on. Putting all of that together in the form versus fixture charts then. Out on top by some margin is Manchester United. Second place is Bournemouth. Third is Arsenal, with Chelsea and Brighton not far behind them either. At the other end, Wolves off the bottom. West Ham are down there as well. Leeds dropping down as well. And we see Spurs start to drop into the second part of the table, into the bottom half of the table, as are Newcastle. That's something to keep an eye on. Sunderland, there was pretty much a lot of momentum for them. I will be interested to see how these form and fixture charts shape up going into game week 12 once that Liverpool City fixture is out of the way though. Before looking at transfer plans then, it is worth noting there is another busy week of European fixtures. We've got a record 9 English teams in the competition. It kicks off on Tuesday evening. Arsenal have got an away fixture. Liverpool host Real Madrid. Spurs have got Copenhagen at home as well. The majority of these teams are at home. Man City host Dortmund, another big fixture. Chelsea travel to Karabag FK, and Newcastle have got Athletic Club at St James's Park. They're all on Wednesday, and then on Thursday we see Nottingham Forest with an away trip. Aston Villa are at home, both in the Europa League and in the Conference League. A home game for Crystal Palace as well. So I do feel like I say this a lot, but if you can hold on to your transfers, that's probably wise, given the fact that we've got so many midweek fixtures for a lot of the teams that are very heavily invested in. But obviously, if you've got exact funds, you may need to move quicker. Transfer plans for me then, I've only got the one free transfer and very little flexibility as well with 0.1 million in the bank. But I do feel like, bearing in mind the form versus fixture charts, my team feels quite optimal at the moment. The one player on my mind is Mo Salah, having scored in consecutive games. And while I don't want to buy him ahead of game week 11 for City away, after that, it's Forest at home, West Ham away, Sunderland at home, Leeds away, all before he potentially goes off to the African Cup of Nations. Now, that's quite tempting to own Salah for that run. And given that I've still got the wild card, I can get to him quite easily if I was to activate the wild card for game week 12. So that's the thing that's playing on my mind at the moment. Obviously, we will see Liverpool in action in the Champions League. Then we've got the fixture against City to really take stock of Liverpool's form and Salah's form as well. But he is a player that I'm keeping an eye on. So with the fact that I could potentially wildcard in game week 12 or 13, it does feel like a week to roll the transfer this week. I think if I do move to Salah, I probably would have Haaland in there, and I probably would have to sacrifice Bruno Fernandes in my midfield. I could obviously get to Salah on free transfers if I really wanted to, but it's going to take a little bit of juggling things to get to that lineup. I'm not quite sure how that shapes up at the moment, but that's the thing on my radar. I did ask Fantasy Football Hub's AI, my team tool, for my recommended transfers this week, and the suggestion there was roll as well. You can get your recommended transfers on the hub using the link in the description to this video. Let's see how the team lines up then going into game week 11. Bearing in mind I'm rolling the one free transfers. Matt Sells between the sticks. It's been 10 game weeks, 10 games where he's conceded. Leeds at home feels like a fixture where it's as good a chance as any of getting a clean sheet. So he's going to get the nod over Dubravka with West Ham away after they got off the mark at the London Stadium last game week. I'm very happy to see the double Arsenal defence once away again against Sunderland away. Their consistency in terms of clean sheets this season is quite frankly ridiculous. 7 clean sheets, just 3 goals conceded in the other 3 games, and last time I looked, just 5 big chances conceded on their goal as well. And I've got Chris Richards in there. Brighton at home, maybe not the easiest of fixtures, but he's an absolute DEFCON monster, and you feel like any given game you're kind of starting with 4 points from him. I am going to be sticking with a 3-5-2 formation, and looking at the midfield, some nice fixtures in there. So we've got Semenyo, Saka, Sarr, Caicedo. Bruno Fernandes probably with the toughest fixture away at Spurs, but Chelsea just got a result there, and he is among the 4 men in my midfield right now. His routes to points through set pieces and penalties. You've got to back him. And then the forward line, I've got Mateta at home to Brighton and Liverpool at home for Erling Haaland. Van de Ven first sub on the bench, Esteve and Mark Yu in there. I've still got the bench boost, and to be fair, looking at this bench, it doesn't look too bad for a bench boost if Yu had any hope of getting minutes against Wolves at home. But I think with the lap back in the frame, I think that's looking fairly unlikely. But, you know, if things happen in midweek, then it could be something that I look at considering. When it comes to captaincy, we do have to second guess Haaland a little bit with that trickier fixture of Liverpool at home, but Liverpool defensively have not been great so far this season, and you know, with Alisson out as well, and Haaland's form where he scored 14 attacking returns in the opening 10 game weeks, it's hard to bet against him. In terms of alternatives, you can kind of consider Mateta in there at home to Brighton, Saka in there away at Sunderland, but I think for me, I am going to keep it simple, go with the herd and go with Haaland this week. Get your dilemmas in the comments then ahead of Saturday's Game Week 11 deadline, which comes at 11 AM UK time. If you've enjoyed the video, hit the like button. Let's try and get it to 1,000 likes. I'm really, really close to the next target of 41,000 subscribers. So appreciate your support hitting that subscribe button as well. Thank you for watching.